What am I to do?
Welcome to Razor Branding Podcast with Jackie Russo. To learn more about how to improve your brand, visit brandrusso.com.
Hi, thanks for joining us on Razor Branding Podcast Special Edition. Today we are having a podcast marathon. That's right. We're going all day long. We will wrap up at midnight tonight, and each hour we are talking to a different nonprofit about their cause, their benefit, what they're working towards, how they came to be, and we're giving them an opportunity to raise some much needed funds in the year of COVID. So many of our nonprofits in the community that do such great work have lost a major fundraising effort, whether it was an event or a gala or a 5K or a drive or whatever it might have been. And so because of that, they're really scrambling to continue to serve their purpose. So I am so excited. At this hour, we're going to talk to Katie with Parish Proud, and she's going to talk to us about how she's making our community look better. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So talk to us about Parish Proud, how it came to be, what the purpose is, and well, we'll get into all the other good stuff later, but give me the overall, like where y'all came from.
Yeah, so Parish Proud started probably a couple of years ago, at least in theory, with a few business leaders, including Matt Stuller. And it started as a conversation about how our community it wasn't clean, it wasn't attractive, visually appealing. And so last October, they did a big launch after bringing a number of community leaders and business leaders to the table. And they said, all right, we're gonna start Parish Proud, take the lead on this. And then about 6 months ago, we got our 501c3 status. And about 4 months ago, I came on as executive director. And so that's how we came to be. And I think that Lafayette really needs an organization like this, and it's going to benefit greatly because we have a lot of unattractive things that in our community, like litter, overgrown lots, blight, and that attractiveness says something about how we feel and respect our homes. So we're here to help improve what that looks like.
Isn't that crazy though? I mean, this is sportsman's paradise. We have all of these great natural benefits to our community. We're a community surrounded by hunter and fishermen and people who farm. And so we are of the land. And yet I look outside and I see the blight of which you speak. So where do you think that comes from?
That's an interesting question. And I'm sure that there are a number of people that have different theories. One theory that I have is that we don't feel really connected to this place. We may go out on the weekends to go hunting or fishing, but that's kind of just you leave Lafayette, you go outdoors, you come back. We don't really immerse ourselves in not just the outdoor kind of sportsman's paradise, but we're in our cars a lot in Lafayette. And so we don't walk and bike and, have these quaint sitting outside conversations. It's hot in South Louisiana a lot of the times. There's mosquitoes. But I know that when I was living in Montana before this job, or before coming home, I should say, I felt connected to Montana and the mountains and the rivers. And I wanted to do everything that I possibly could to keep it that way because it was so magnificent and you were immersed in it. So I think that we struggle a little bit in Lafayette to find that connection, and Parish Proud is trying to create more opportunities for people to make that connection.
I would agree. I definitely think it's a connection issue. And I also think sometimes it's a sense of absent-mindedness. I see those aforementioned hunters and fisher persons throwing trash in the back of their pickup trucks and heading out. And I think not even realizing that stuff is going to blow out. And so,
Sure.
It's about people really staying connected, as you mentioned, and having some thought about what they're doing, being deliberate with their actions. So I think about Parish Proud. So it's not just the city of Lafayette, it's the parish of Lafayette, right? Talk to me about some of the activities and efforts that y'all have made underway this year so far to help us all clean up.
So, again, during COVID, it's been somewhat challenging to really mobilize and activate those volunteer bases. So instead of focusing on bringing a lot of people together on one day in one space for safety precautions, we did the pivot, and we tried to get as many people out picking up litter when and where they can safely. Right. So we're handing out litter toolkits, which are grabbers, safety vest, and gloves. And we're asking people, we're saying, when you go on your evening walks, bring your toolkit. When you go to the office or to the grocery store, bring your toolkit. Because right now we can't gather in big groups, but we can do more with when and where. And that's actually really nice, because now you've got this kind of consistent flow of people picking up litter. We did have 2 quote unquote larger cleanups. One was in partnership with United Way, and that was the Day of Action at the end of July. And we had over 150 people on 4 different sites. So we tried to spread people out. And then International Coastal Cleanup Day, we attempted to clean up La Journée Road, but there's a difference between littering and, small litter and dumping, which is large appliances and furniture. And La Journée is actually the dumping ground of Lafayette. So really? It was an interesting learning experience. Yes. I don't know if you've ever driven down there.
No.
Yeah. I would take a drive down there.
So people just show up and dump their trash?
Yeah.
Really?
They dump trash bags full of trash, old furniture, toilets, mattresses. It's bad. And look, every community has this area per se, but when you take the time to drive out there, and it's not far away, it's right off of Louisiana Avenue, okay, near the I-10 overpass.
Right.
But when you take a look, it's pretty impressive.
I feel like that might be a place to set up one of those LPD camera trucks, and let's just shut that activity down, right? I mean, is it like they don't know how to get to the actual dump? I mean, that seems so obvious. You just go to the place where you're supposed to do it instead of this new place.
Yeah, well, not really new. I think that this has been the dumping ground for a very long time. And that's why they do have cameras up. It's just, it's such a complicated issue. Is once you have a new piece of appliance, is it within the camera's viewpoint? Who's going to sit through the footage? Sure. How do you ticket that? Is it on private property or is it on public property? Because those are 2 different workflows for LCG. Right. So yeah, but you're right. Why don't they bring it to the dump? I don't really know. I know that LCG has a calendar schedule of when Republic picks up your yard waste, your big bulky items. It has a list of what they can and cannot take. And so that's been helpful for me, especially after Laura. I needed to know, when do I clean up my yard so that I can put my yard waste in there and it doesn't start collecting mosquitoes. Right. So LCG has that link. Right. And I'll put that in the resource document that I'm sharing with everyone.
Great. Because I think everybody wants to have a prettier community. We love Acadiana. We love Lafayette City, Parish. So, it's all about working together. So you talked about the efforts, and I know with fall coming, it does feel there's a chill in the air. This is the perfect time for people to get outside again and start enjoying those walks. And obviously because of COVID, we're all spending more time closer to home. And so in that resource document, Katie, is there a place where they'll know how to go to get those kits if they need one?
Absolutely. We just got a new shipment in. They were such a hit that we ran out. So we just got our second batch in, and we're pulling those together and deploying those into specific locations around the community. And once those locations have the toolkits, Parish Proud is going to tell you on Facebook, our website, and our newsletter where you can find them.
Awesome. So I know in the past there have been some big cleanup days, like you talked about with United Way Day of Giving, and then Project Front Yard has done some cleanup days. Assuming that we get further into our phases and have more opportunities for gatherings, do you have another one of those big cleanup days scheduled in the future?
We do. Happy that you asked. November 14th. It's a Saturday. We are going to be cleaning up University Corridor. We're bringing in United Way's coming back. We're going to bring in the neighborhood coteries. We're going to bring in UL and the athletics at UL. We are trying to make this a big cleanup effort with a targeted stretch in our community, one that is about to see a lot of revitalization going on, like the Les Pay Motel.
Yes.
And we're stepping it up a notch, and we're not just going to be picking up litter. We're going to ask for certain organizations to bring lawn care equipment out so we can edge the sidewalks, and shovels so we can pick up the debris that just kind of accumulates along the curbs. So we're going to try to actually change what it looks like, even if it's just for a short period of time. We really need to understand that the before and the after, if we just do a little bit more good and a little bit less bad, it can transform what a place looks like and what you feel about the place and how you want to treat it.
Absolutely. And what I hear you saying undercurrent is every kid who's looking to apply to college this year, next year, and the year after, this is a great time to get in some public service hours, get into some labor. Any parent that's looking to teach their kids about how to invest in the community and make it a place that they love, this is the time to sign your kids up to participate in something important.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. UL is excited because the timing is just right. We've talked to the community service department. We've talked to athletics department. They've all said great opportunity to get those service hours in.
Right. And so is there a specific place where people go to say, hey, my organization wants to help out or my kid wants to participate? Is there a sign up place on the Parish Proud website?
There will be. We do not have the link live quite yet. We're still creating all the specifics for it. But if you like Parish Proud on Facebook and subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do through our website, you will be updated right whenever that link is live. And not only can you sign up as an individual, but like you were saying, you can sign up your organization, or you can sign up maybe your business. Maybe you have a number of people that work in your office that love to give back to the community. There's going to be a spot just for that group of people. And it tracks your hours, and it quantifies the impact in dollars actually that you give back to your community. And that's really impressive whenever you go to report for anything really.
What a great team building activity for every company out there that's looking for a way to get their team working together and get their coworkers and employees kind of on the same page and working for a bigger cause. This seems like the right day for that to happen.
Exactly.
Now, I know that y'all have set up a Mighty Cause page like the other nonprofits have today. And so if you don't have the time to get out into the community on that beautiful November day, you can still give. We want your time, your talent, and your treasure. So there's a link right there in the comments on Facebook. So you can go to the Mighty Cause page for Parish Proud and donate. You can have your office do a match. So for everything employees donate, the company can do an equal match. And let's raise some funds for these organizations to help make our community a better place. So, Katie, one of the things that I'm thinking about is that's great. We're picking up trash. We're picking up the big items that people are dumping at the end of this road, which is just unfathomable to me. What else can we be doing on the beautification side?
Yeah, so it's an interesting conversation that I have. So I think of it kind of as, let's decrease the ugly and increase the pretty. And increasing the pretty is, can we commission artists to paint murals on the side of our private buildings or our fences that's publicly accessible and public facing, just to do a bold pop of color. And it's not just any mural, but one that speaks to us as a community and tells a story that we can connect with. So there's that kind of art. There's also public art, like structures, the things that you see downtown. That's a great spot where we love to beautify. It can also include landscaping, adding trees along the sidewalks so that when you're walking along the sidewalk, it's not blistering hot. So just, let's see, what else can you do to increase the pretty? That's all I got right now.
No,
that's my list in my head right now.
I think those are great things. I think that when we can plant when we can paint, when we can do anything that's going to make it prettier, I think you're right. It's not just decreasing the trash and the blight, but increasing the art and the flowers and the landscaping. That is a win-win. I'm lucky enough to live in the same streets, and we've got these beautiful boulevards. And so I see people out there taking care of it. And I'm thinking, that's what this community is all about. It's about making it prettier.
Yeah. We're just trying to tip the scale in kind of two different ways. One is more people doing good, fewer people doing bad, and less ugly, more pretty. Right. So that we just tip the scales a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Now, what about recycling? And I know that we've got our regular recycling cans, but I hear a lot of people frustrated about the sorting that needs to happen and the glass not being recycled. What's Parish Proud doing with recycling? Is there anything y'all been able to do to help that effort out?
So yes and no. The first thing is that recycling is really a function of sustainability, and it aligns with beautification on a lot of levels, but it's not the same thing. But we do support recycling in a few ways. One is that we don't want plastic grocery bags flying around litter. So we encourage people to have reusable grocery bags. And the litter toolkits that we're giving out there this next round are going to come in a reusable grocery bag with a clever little Parish Proud saying.
Nice.
But also, I took a tour of Republic Waste Services the other day, and it's really cool and impressive. It's strange to say that because it's a waste disposal facility, but it's impressive. The logistics, the maintenance, the process that it all happens in. And they are struggling with the sorting, like you're saying, because I don't think that we were educated as a community when recycling was introduced to us. And so they are doing, LCG is currently partnering with Republic on an education campaign where they're sticking stickers onto the bins, the recycling bins, and it helps you better understand what you can and you cannot recycle. And when it comes to the glass recycling, a lot of places don't have it because it's an expensive form of recycling. And I don't know if LCG or Lafayette is there yet. We can't really recycle properly with the plastics. And so I think that we crawl before we walk. But recycling is becoming more efficient and more cost effective. So hopefully in a few years, Lafayette will have all of the recycling options.
That would be awesome. Back to the litter just for a second. Denise Longclaw's watching and she says, recycle, litter enforcement, and beautification. I mean, those are three great platforms from which to work. And I know Denise has been one of the main people in the community who's really trying to reinforce people picking up, staying clean, planting, and making our whole community prettier. But, I see people littering. I see them dropping trash out of the side of their cars at a stoplight. I see them in a parking lot dumping out stuff from the back. I know that legally I am not supposed to shoot them. I understand my role in the world, that's not appropriate. So what can I do short of the Facebook shaming that I think people are encouraged by, taking pictures of them doing the bad thing and posting it? What are the other helpful options? Because I can't shoot them,
so
right?
No, you cannot. That is definitely illegal.
Right, just want to confirm.
But so is littering. And it's a tough law to enforce, but we need to figure out a better way so it is easier to enforce. One thing that an individual resident can do is they can call the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries litterbug hotline. And I'll share that number in the resource document at the end of the show. But just for those that are listening, it's 1-888-LITTERBUG, which is 548-7284. And you just report where it happened, the license plate, a general description of the incident and the person driving, and they will follow up with the person that littered. So
really,
they're the only law agency right now. Well, the sheriff's department is also doing it, but the wildlife and fishery guys, they are committed to it. They are on it. They have an entire team dedicated to it.
I love that there is a litterbug hotline. That is awesome.
Yep.
That is great. Jessica Hauerwas
Yep.
is watching and says, what are some creative ways to reduce waste at home?
Yeah, so recycling is one, and reducing the amount of plastic bottles, water bottles. So if you have a reusable water bottle, that's super handy. Using your reusable grocery bag, composting as well. And I think that composting may not it'll reduce your waste, but it'll also make you more conscious of what you're doing and what kind of waste you're producing, so that it's indirectly going to reduce the waste that you create.
Right. Absolutely. Denise also just jumped in with a little message. Yes, our southern landscape is one of our greatest assets. Snowbirds come here from around the world just to see our beauty. And I love that and I appreciate that. And like you moving to Montana, I moved to Los Angeles for a little while, where we spend all of our time outside because the weather's so nice. And so when I came back home, I was surprised at how much litter there was. For a sportsman's paradise, I feel like we just don't take good care of our surroundings.
Yeah, and going back to your comment about the truck beds, rumor has it that Lafayette, Louisiana has more trucks per capita than any other place. I mean, that's not hard for me to believe, right? But if that is true, then that means that there's a lot more litter coming out of the beds of our truck than other places, right? And it is kind of just an awareness thing. If you don't have a cover to your truck, then just toss it in your back seat, or keep a trash bag. And that goes for all cars, right? We spend a lot of time at work, at home, and in our cars. We don't trash work. We don't trash our home. And we feel like we don't want to trash our car. So just put a bag in your car and empty it out every now and then, right? Our public areas, our communal spaces are not your dumping grounds. They're not your trash can. And that goes for cigarettes as well. Lafayette, Louisiana has the highest percentage of identified smokers in the nation. 28.3% of us identify as smokers in Lafayette, Louisiana. And I did the math. I did a couple of little quick maths. And the city population is about 126,000. And if 28.3% of them are smokers, then let's see, hold on. If every smoker tosses 10 cigarettes out of the window every day for a year, then you're tossing 130 million cigarettes a year out of the window in Lafayette. And that's if a smoker is smoking 10 cigarettes a day.
Which is like half
probably,
a pack.
Right.
Which is nothing, I think, for most, heavy smokers.
Right. And they're probably the ones that are in their car smoking and tossing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, if you think about it, you think about the scale and the magnitude of what those individual behaviors have on our community and our public space. Think about all the cigarettes that are in the river that flow out into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah,
I mean, gross. Yeah. And then we eat the fish.
Right.
That from the Gulf.
Right.
We just need to be more aware of our behaviors.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure when it became okay for that to get thrown out of a car window. But those same people would be like, oh, but I can't have a plastic straw. And I'm thinking, I never see plastic straws on the side of the road, but I see cigarettes on the side of the road all the time.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I like to do is challenge people to really focus on the litter when you're in the car, especially when you're a passenger in the car. Like, don't ignore it. Focus on it. When you're at a red light, look down and look at the cigarette butts. Look at the street debris. When you're, actually going 40 miles an hour down Johnson Street, take a look at all of the trash. It's everywhere. We become conditioned because it's just been there and we're kind of just so used to it. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I promise. And it's interesting as well when you said, when did it become okay to toss a cigarette out the window? When did car makers stop putting ashtrays in cars? Right? They took away
exactly right.
that spot that cigarettes are supposed to go. And so it's interesting how those slight changes can really impact behaviors.
Right. Oh, look, Denise just mentioned, she said she's ordered more cigarette bin waste containers from Keep America Beautiful to deliver to car dealers and restaurants, etc. What a great thing, because that's right. They're portable ashtrays you can put in cars now, right? In the cup holder area, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. And so it's a habit, tossing a cigarette out the window. But if you really want to give back to the community, if you really want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, you will seek out a way to dispose of your cigarette, whether it's these cigarette bins that Ms. Denise, hi, Ms. Denise, by the way, that she's getting those from Keep America Beautiful, or even if it's just a water bottle with water in it. You know, like, we have to be more intentional about what we are putting into our environment and our public spaces.
Absolutely. Because think about it, if we could eliminate that almost 150 million cigarettes a year that people in Lafayette are tossing out of their cars onto the streets, that would be amazing. Just that one simple behavioral change would be incredible. Oh my gosh. Think about the benefits. So she mentioned Keep America Beautiful, and I know there's also a Keep Louisiana Beautiful, and then we talked earlier about Project Front Yard, and there's Parish Proud. So we've got 4 organizations all working, I'm assuming together, to try to help Lafayette look better. What else can we be doing other than just being aware and participating in the event in November? We can donate. So if you're watching right now, please look in the comments or look on screen, and there's a page where you can go and donate and use those materials to buy more supplies to get less litter on our streets, right? I mean, that's something we should be doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, just to clarify and make sure everybody's on the same page, we have Keep Louisiana Beautiful at the state level. We have Keep Lafayette Beautiful, which is a public board that both myself and Miss Denise sit on, as well as Carol Trosclair and Jamie Abair from Moncus Park. So we have those 4 individuals on the Keep Lafayette Beautiful board. And there's Parish Proud. Now, Project Front Yard did not receive funding, so it is no longer around.
Oh.
At least functioning. But Project Front Yard's programs are within the Environmental Quality Department, the Environmental Quality Division of the Public Works Department at LCG. So those programs still exist. You can still embrace a space. They still have the Hazardous Waste Day, the Trash Bash. Those programs still exist, just in a different name.
Gotcha.
And I just want to clarify that, because there are a number of players in this space, and each of us is playing our part and aligning our missions so that we are supporting one another. But
awesome.
Just for clarification's sake.
That is good. Thank you. I did not realize that Project Front Yard had been cut from the budget and also rolled into that department. So that's good to know. Denise also mentions, she said, "Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Education is key too. KLB videos for children are awesome. And also KLB now grants for university affiliates to educate and change litter behaviors." So it sounds like the Keep Lafayette Beautiful cause with the education is going to be really vital. So if, as Parish Proud works at this level and we've got these videos going at that level, we can all be working together towards getting it cleaner.
That's exactly right. We don't want to duplicate efforts. We all want the same end state at the end of the day. What do they do well? We're going to help you do it better. What do we do well? Help us do it better. Let's combine with our powers combined. We can.
It's like superpowers activate. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you moved back, did you realize that you were going to be helping to put Lafayette on the map as what will hopefully become one of the cleanest cities in America?
No, I didn't know it was going to happen, but I had hoped it would happen. I've always been really passionate about quality of place and sense of place, and how do we get our neighborhoods clean? How do we get people engaged? How do we get urban and rural to look beautiful and to really represent or reflect the way we feel about a place?
Right.
And so I didn't know that was going to happen. I was working for CGI at the time, doing EPA projects, and I've always kind of been in the environmental realm. So it was a really good fit, and I'm glad that the opportunity arose.
You mentioned CGI. Have noticed that they've really stepped up as one of the companies in town that seems to have a very strong desire to invest back in the community and get their employees involved. And I've seen a number of projects they've taken on, whether it's that place where West Bayou Parkway and South College and the Coulee meet right there. Right, there's a big. Tell me about that. There was a big project there the other day, wasn't there?
Yeah, so that wasn't with CGI as an entity, but a number of CGI members are on that team. That's Recover Acadiana. It's a completely volunteer-based group that do beautification projects, small beautification projects around town. And that particular one was a 24-hour citizen project from a few years back, where they wanted to make the bike path that goes underneath South College. Yeah, they wanted to make it more attractive and comfortable, and they wanted people to use that crossing. And it was kind of scary. It's underneath this like high traffic road, and so they're like, let's put some trees in, we'll put some lights in, and there has been an increase in bike traffic from that side of the street to Girard Park side of the street. So that's, again, connecting people to our place physically as well as kind of emotionally. Right. And CGI, so CGI is a great representative of what corporate social responsibility looks like. They intentionally give back to the communities that they are working within. And Lafayette in general has a great charitable business community. They organize their offices. They make sure that they get those employees out, and the employees want to do it. I mean, Stellar, for instance, is an awesome example of that. They are always picking up litter around the office or on their Embrace the Space. So Lafayette has a good track record of having engaged and, giving back feelings.
And so other companies who want to get involved and give back to the community can check out that resource document that you're going to post in the comments, and that will give them tips and tools on how to get their employee base energized and involved, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yep.
Now, Denise posted a comment, and I think she makes a great point. We as a city need to make a huge effort to tackle Mardi Gras bead litter. So let's talk about Mardi Gras bead litter, because I know New Orleans cleaned out, I don't even remember how many millions of pounds of Mardi Gras beads from their storm drains.
Tons.
Really, literally millions of tons of pounds. And so that can't be good for drainage. I'm sure Lafayette doesn't have as big a problem, but I would imagine ours is pretty severe. So what can we do as a community to fix that?
Well, there's a couple of things. You can talk about how do you remove the beads that are tossed. You can talk about how do we not get beads tossed in the first place, or you can talk about how beads can be tossed that don't damage our environment or our drainage system. So there's a crew called Crew de Canaille, which I'm a member of, where it's a sustainable Mardi Gras walking group where we only give out reusable items, not the plastic beads. And the plastic beads in New Orleans, actually, they have companies, startups that have started creating biodegradable beads. So it's no longer the plastic beads, right? So you can toss different things. You can toss different types of beads. When it comes to picking those up, I think that it's just up to us as Mardi Gras revelers to just pick up the beads, put them in the wagon or the bag, and throw them away. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of a part of our culture. I'd love to see us starting to toss different things. I know that we all love beads, but at some point we need to evolve out of such a environmentally not, conscious behavior.
Right. I think our addicts would appreciate not having that extra 1,000 pounds up there, because I think that's what happens. So many people collect them on the day, and that's a huge thing. And then the next day they go up into the attic.
Right. And you bring up a good point, though. Beads are expensive. Every year that you ride in a float, you got to get your grabs, right? And that's an expensive buy. So perhaps there is a way to not maybe make money, but also just support the reuse of these beads. You don't do anything with them, or you can create art projects with them. I'm sure there's a number of artists that would love to create a project with them. Right.
Absolutely. Denise also, and I feel like I should just resign at this point and let Denise run the interview because she's doing a much better job than I am. But she brings up Scenic Lafayette team that's picking up the illegal signs on a weekly basis thousands of signs a year, and you know them. You see them on the side of the road. They're those little bitty signs people put up advertising some sale or something. That and all of those political signs are in fact illegal, right?
Well, it depends. Illegal, when you pick them up, when you post them, who's posting them, where you're posting them, all really matters. Scenic Lafayette focuses on the illegal signage on illegal spots, so public poles or in public right-of-ways. Now, the campaign signage, I'm glad that you brought it up. Parish Proud is actually partnering with Trey Bishop, which is Stuart Bishop's son. He's the guy that was recycled last year or last election cycle. He recycled all of the campaign signs. So Parish Proud is partnering with him to figure out how we can support the removal of those signs, get candidates to hold them accountable for where their signs are located, picking them up according to the law, which is 10 days after the election. They need to all be removed. And really supporting the efforts to remove that visual pollution. And Scenic Lafayette focuses on the illegal signage, and they pick up a lot of signs.
Yeah. A lot of signs. And so one of the first things we could do is make sure that we don't support any of the sales that are being advertised with illegal signs put in illegal places. And maybe that would also help discourage people from putting it up in the first place.
Yeah, it's got to be a multi-pronged approach, a comprehensive kind of solution. We as consumers have to not buy into those so that they aren't effective for the companies or they aren't worthwhile for the companies. And I say companies very loosely. But also as business owners, I think even those that are small business owners, we don't realize that our signs may be illegal. So taking the time to read over the signage laws and saying, there's a reason why we're not allowed to have those. Does this contribute to the beauty or not of my community?
Right. No, it's so important. Yeah. Back to the Mardi Gras beads just for a second. Denise uses them to make stuffed Halloween bean bags for trick-or-treaters. Which, what a great recycling tool, though, right? That's an expensive material to have to go into a bean bag, and they give them to her for free every year at Mardi Gras. So what a genius recycling effort from one holiday to the next. I think that is awesome. And so I know that's a lot of what y'all are doing at Parish Proud, is making people think about how to do things differently, think about how to do things in a better way.
Yep. At the individual level, at a business level, at your organization, at the whole community level, just start reimagining what could be and start tweaking your behaviors just a little bit.
Right. And so anybody who wants to help support that effort, which I think we all do because we all want a better, cleaner area, you can use the resource document, because there'll be a whole lot of different ways you can be a resource to this endeavor, and you can give. That's the whole point of today. This podcast marathon is about giving, driving some donations to help fuel this effort. So the next time you're driving around Lafayette and you see all that trash on the side of the road, think about how you can help keep that from happening. It's so important. Please. So important.
Yes.
So Katie, I know the next big effort for people who are just now tuning in, the late sleepers who are waking up this morning. So November Day is really the big day. So tell us again about that, because I want to make sure everybody knows what to do and when to do it.
Yep. So November 14th is a Saturday. And again, if you like us, if you like our Facebook page and you subscribe to our newsletter, we will be sharing the link probably within a week or so about how you can register for the event. And that's when you'll get all the details of the when, where, what to bring, how to dress, the whole 9 yards. We're going to be cleaning up University Corridor. We're not just going to be picking up litter. We're going to be trimming the sidewalks, picking up street debris, taking down illegal signage. So that's November 14th. That's a Saturday. I also need to plug the whole month of October. Is hashtag pickup LFT month, where we're just asking people to do what you can when you can. Try one small beautification act around your neighborhood, office, or general community. One small act per week. It can be mowing your neighbor's lawn. It can be picking up the litter along your walk or in the parking lot or your grocery store. Just try and be more intentional throughout the entire month of October. See if you feel any better and if our community looks any different. So that's in October. And then we have the University Corridor on November 14th. coming up October 18th, can't believe I forgot about this. We're partnering with Wonderland Performing Arts Studio. We are doing a virtual showing of a play that was written by the kids that attend Wonderland Studio. It's called The Swamp Monster, and Swamp Monster is all about litter in our bayous and swamps. Nice. So it's performed and written by the kids, and you can tune in October 18th at 3:00 is when that first showing is going to be. We're doing an art contest with them. So the kids are going to draw something, and the winning artist is going to be featured on Parish Proud buttons for 2021. It's going to be really exciting. So that is coming up. And
where can people tune in to watch that at 3:00 on that day? Is it going to be an online performance, so it's not in person?
It is. Yeah, it's going to be online, and in the resource document, I actually will have a flyer for you. And I believe that today is the first day that we're promoting it on social media. So if you like our Facebook page, you'll get the update about all the details on how to get tickets, where to tune in, what's going on, and who's involved.
That is a lot going on.
We're busy. We're 1.5 people, 4 months in, COVID and all.
That is awesome, though. I love the enthusiasm. And listen, y'all, as the weather gets cooler and we want to be outside more, let's make our outside look better. Swing by and pick up they can swing by and pick up the toolkits, right? Yeah.
Once they're ready to be distributed, there's going to be specific locations, and we'll tell you via newsletter and social media where those locations are.
So grab those, and then when you're making your nightly walks after work, pick up a little trash on your block and maybe walk 1 block over. I love that we're tackling University Corridor because I know there's a lot of work that's been done at the city, state, and federal level to beautify that area. And there's even more coming. We just got another $10 million in federal funds.
Yeah.
And so now it's time for us as the members of the community to step up and help clean up that area. We can really make a true gateway to Lafayette right down University. I mean, it's perfect. It goes to downtown. It goes to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. It is the perfect entryway to our community.
Completely agree. For all the things that you just said, let's keep the momentum going. Targeted efforts. We're going to see the before and after. There's going to be a difference, and we're going to be proud of it.
Absolutely. And I mean, hence the name Parish Proud. We all do want to be proud of our city and of our parish, and this is the great way for that to happen. So everybody who's participating, I think Katie has given us about 64 different ways we can make Lafayette. No, it's a good thing, because that way people can do it the way they can. Not everybody can do everything. So if you have time,
right,
if you have talent, or you have treasure, these are the different ways you can step up and help make our community look better. I hear people talk about how proud they are of Lafayette and Acadiana all the time. Now's the chance to kind of put your money where your mouth is and show up with your actions, your words, your deeds, and your donations to actually make our community look better. We've got people who come to visit, and we want it to look good for them.
Exactly. I could not have said it better myself. I mean, we want to be proud. We want people that have never been to Lafayette to feel the exact same way that we do, especially those that grew up here. We know how unique it is and how special it is. Let's make sure that what it looks like reflects that. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Katie, thank you, and thank Parish Proud for all the work that you're doing to help make this community better. Denise, even though you weren't technically on the show, I want to thank you as well, because I know all the efforts you've got going on. And I want to invite everybody to go to azaleatrail.org to see what's happening there. Let's look for ways we can clean up and beautify and really make our community look as good as we think it should. I like winning those Cleanest City Awards, and I don't think we're due for any of those right now. So let's earn a couple, right? Katie, thanks so much for your time, and thank you everybody who's watching. Thank you.
When the day is through.